19 on the Ladies European Tour calendar. And we've headed from Tenerife across Spain and into France for the Lacoste Ladies Open de France. We're in the southwest of France at Saint-Jean-de-Luz in the Basque Country, a picturesque seaside resort. Golf Chantaco is the host venue for this event for the third year in a row. An old-fashioned tree-lined French course founded in 1928 and designed by Harry Colt. A limited field of just 78 players, the 24th edition of the French Open has attracted some of Europe's top names. And they put on a show. On day one, Carlota Ciganda showed those Spanish hands to chip in at 18 for an opening round of 66. But it was another Spaniard, Maria Hernandez, who put her LPGA Tour struggles behind her to lead the way at the halfway stage at 8 under par. And what a performance on her LET debut from 16-year-old amateur Albane Valenzuela. The Swiss Miss certainly not overawed by the occasion, tied for third. The defending champion certainly not giving up her title without a fight. World number 15, Ada Munoz, with 3 rounds in the 60s and in position to strike. But it was Maria Hernandez they still had to catch. Leading after days 1 and 2, the Spaniards stretched their advantage at the top on day 3 with an equal best 66 to move 4 shots clear. So Maria Hernandez looking for her second LET title and her first in 4 years, very much in charge at 12 under par. It's a Spanish takeover at Golf Chantaco with Ciganda in that tie for third. Isabelle Boineau continues to lead the local challenge. I'm Richard Kaufman. A warm welcome to day 4 of the Lacoste Ladies Open de France. Alongside me, Ladies European Tour golfer Charlie Douglas, as we look at this golf course, past 70, 6,100 yards. How much of a favourite is Maria Hernandez today, Charlie?
I mean, she absolutely is. She's going out there with a 4-shot lead. The only thing that's questioning it for me is obviously she's gone 4 years without a win. She's been struggling over on the LPGA. Perhaps some shaky starts, and she's got Ciganda and Munoz lurking, so definitely going to be an interesting day out there.
Well, conditions today, I'm pleased to say, sunny. There was quite a bit of rain overnight, so the course is very wet, but the sunshine is out now, and it's been a very interesting start to this 4th round. Hernandez, of course, with that 4-shot lead. So let's pick up the action with Christine Wolf of Austria. Three rounds of 69, so started the day at 3 under par. But a lovely approach into the dogleg second hole. Give Wolf, who's had some good performances in recent weeks on the Ladies European Tour. That birdie chance which she took, unfortunately dropped shots at 4 and 6. Amy Bolden, 5 birdies in the first 7 holes yesterday in a round of 66. She was looking to get her first birdie of the day at the second. Not to be. Disappointment was stretched even further here at the par 3 third. Just a short flick of a hole. She turned it over and splash. Double bogey, but she has bounced back. Birdies at 5, 6 and 7. What about the teenager in her first pro event? Albane Valenzuela did drop a shot at the second, but this is the kind of golf that's taken her into these final groups on Sunday. She looks so calm, rolling in the birdie putt to go back to -7. Isabelle Boineau, her first French Open, and boy, she's producing the goods. That was her second to the second hole after a par at the first. Good crowds following Boineau, as you'd expect. Well, she's turning on the style. A birdie there, another birdie in the 5th and the 9th. She's getting closer to the top. Carlota Ciganda. This is the opening hole on the golf course, par 3 first hole. Saganda obviously looking for a fast start, getting it on the right level at that opening hole, and then rolling in the birdie putt. Just the start she wanted. She birdied the next as well, the next par 3, getting it to 9 under. Munoz missed a short one like that at the first yesterday, but no problems at the first. And then setting up a birdie chance here at the second, which she would take. Unfortunately, she double bogeyed the third. Not going Munoz's way. What about the leader? Well, you have to say a nervous opening tee shot. This one going quite a way left, but look at the kick she gets. Down off the bank. She putted up to here and rolled it in for a par start. She's birdied the 4th, pars elsewhere. She's looking solid, Maria Hernandez. So let's update you with how it stands right now. Her 4-shot lead has been cut because Isabel Bueno, with the latest birdie at the 9th, her 4th of the day, has got it to 10 under par, giving hopes of a first French win here in a decade. Florentina Parker birdies at 4 and 7 at 9 under par. Saganda dropped a shot at the 6th hole, just par the 7th. Azahara Munoz birdied that hole, so she's back up at 8 under par. So, a lot to digest there, Charlie. They've crossed the road, and they're at the par 4 8th, and we're with our leader, who's looked rock solid so far.
Yeah, she has. Obviously, we saw that nervy opening tee shot, also a nervy one down the second, which resulted actually in the middle of the fairway, so worked out nicely for her, but she's steadied the nerves now and finding the fairway nicely here at the 8th.
It was a terrific start from Carlota Saganda. Set back at 6, she found trouble off the tee down the left-hand side. Incredible that we've got 3 Spanish players all in this final group.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Obviously, we're not very far from the Spanish border, so I'm sure we have a lot of Spanish fans out on the golf course today.
Just finding that right-hand side bunker.
It shouldn't be too bad for Carlota in there. Bunker's very flat.
Yeah, sometimes preferable to be in there than maybe in the fluffy rough. You can see Amy Bolden there, despite a double bogey on her card. She's 1 under for the day in a tie for 6th. Maria Hernandez, 3 shots her lead. Hasn't had a drop shot since she bogeyed those opening 2 holes at the start of day 3. And here is the young lady who's going to be the centre of attention at the moment, isn't she, given the fact that all French hopes are in her hands?
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of weight on this rookie's shoulders. Secured her playing rights at the qualifying school last December.
That's a disappointing shot, though, from her. Good drive down 10, back on the tee. Amy Bolden, who today could go top in the race for Rookie of the Year. Just under €10,000 behind Sally Watson of Scotland. And well, she went into the water as we saw at the 3rd, but apart from that, she's been playing brilliantly.
Yeah, once again, Amy's been very, very solid this week. Really starting to find her groove on the Ladies European Tour.
Yeah, interesting to see her caddy there by her side. A veteran in the caddy stakes, but a man who's got a few stories to tell, Ian, right, with having caddied for the likes of Seve Ballesteros.
Good drive there from Florentina Parker. Prime position.
Well, she's sticking around, isn't she? What a performance it has been from Albain Valenzuela.
I mean, she looked completely unfazed yesterday and much the same today. I think actually it's a blessing in disguise that she's not in that final group today. Perhaps take a little bit of attention away from her and just enjoy the moment. But as you say, she's going along great today. Level par for her round and sticking around at the top.
Have to say conditions today absolutely ideal. You can see there's a breeze around, but it's not quite as windy as yesterday. As you can see, yesterday we could hardly see the Pyrenees in the background. Today, well, they're in full view, aren't they? This is a very separate part of the golf course, isn't it?
Yeah, we crossed the road after the 7th, 8 and 9 are on the other side of the road. Straight down par 4 here, the 8th, and then a dog leg left, par 4, 9th. Very narrow opening into this green.
How beautiful is that setting, though? Really is picture perfect, isn't it? Well, I think when you're in the middle of a golf tournament and you're trying to close down this leader, I don't think you see much of the backdrop. Well, there was kind of some nerves earlier, wasn't there? We saw that tee shot at the first. She then pushed her tee shot at the right. She got a couple of good kicks. It went her way. You need a bit of luck when you're up there. And since then, she hasn't really put a foot wrong. And others around her have made some big mistakes, haven't they?
Yeah, Maria's really steadied her nerves. And we've seen actually the third hole's been quite problematic for a few players, a few key players. Charlie Hull, Amy Bolden and Athahara Munoz all making double bogey at that third hole. So lots of change going on early on.
Yeah, the only players not to have dropped a shot in the final groups are the top three, Hernandez, Bueno and Parker. Saganda dropped one at 6. She didn't like the contact, did she?
No. Not Carlotta's best from that bunker, and she's going to have a very tricky shot now. Not left herself much green to work with for that chip.
Oh, superb from Isabel Bueno. Well, maybe inspired this week, Bueno, by the likes of Victor de Buisson, of course, who played such a role last week in the Ryder Cup, Arthur Munoz, and a lot of the players on Twitter last week were tweeting about various things in the Ryder Cup last week. Charlie Hull leaves a birdie putt short at the 10th hole. Apart from that double bogey at the third, she'd been going along really well. 4 birdies in the first 7 holes. Yeah, he's got a long way to go on that one, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's enjoying himself there, isn't he?
Well, what can be better? Lovely warm temperatures. Not as hot as it was the first couple of days, but blue skies and some great golf ahead. You still feel, don't you, even though, you know, she's done nothing wrong, Maria Hernandez, even though her lead's only gone from, what, 4 shots to 3 shots, you still feel like there's a lot of barriers she needs to cross before she can claim the win.
Absolutely, and I think this back 9 is going to prove a real test for her. Lots of tight drives. Very narrow, small greens is going to require the most of her skill, so...
Yeah, this 10th hole where we're looking right now, it's very, very open. Here at 8 and 9 as well. Also very open. But once you get to the 11th, suddenly the trees close in on you, don't they?
Yeah, you suddenly get tunnel vision and everything just looks a lot more difficult.
Isabel Bueno. Well done. Well, she's making a real run for it, isn't she? Yesterday we saw her playing really well. She couldn't hold any putts. Obviously, she's bagged a few today.
Yeah, perhaps some work on the practice putting green yesterday when she finished.
Florentina Parker starting like she did yesterday. A few birdies, no drop shots. It was around the turn, though, that she really started to slip up, drop a shot at 10, double bogeyed the 12th.
We saw a couple of majestic chip shots from Carlotta yesterday. Can she produce the goods here at the 8th? Throwing this one high up in the air. It's a very good effort from where she was.
But the thing is, if you're Carlotta Ciganda at the moment, the likes of Munoz, they can't afford to take any steps backwards, because Hernandez, as we know, has got a birdie chance here. They need to keep pressing, don't they?
Yeah, she looks very solid. Doesn't really look like doing much wrong. As you say, they really can't afford to be giving shots back to the golf course. They need to be picking them up.
Another fairway, another green for Valenzuela. They're almost 2 holes behind, aren't they? The back group. Yeah,
that final group is very, very slow. I believe they're now actually on the clock. So they, you know, Maria Hernandez might be leading the tournament, but she's taking her time out there. Perhaps her nerves are coming through.
But she's not the quickest to play her anyway. Then throw in the fact that it's the final round. Oh, another glorious shot from Amy Bolden. She goes on these birdie runs, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. She goes pin seeking, and we've seen so many times just how good she is with those irons.
So Munoz with a chance to get to 9 under. Obviously Maria Hernandez not at 11 under, as it says on the leaderboard there. She's at 13 under.
Athahara really could do with knocking this one in. Trying to close that gap. Not to be here at the 8th for Atha.
And it's been the strong part of her game this year, her putting. She's been superb, racking up around $850,000 on the money list in America. That's why she's 9th there. Ahead of this week, of course, the event in China finished this morning and Miriam Lee won it. Caroline Hedval came very close. Of course, one of Atha's Solheim Cup teammates to getting her first win in America. So a chance once again for Maria Hernandez to go, as she was overnight, to 4 shots in the lead.
Just didn't allow for that break.
Do you think pars are good enough? Do you think 13 under par would be enough for a winning score?
I think given the difficulty of the back nine, there's some tricky pin positions out there as well. I think it could just be enough.
14 under's won it the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean 14 I would say would be almost a dead cert, but 13 I'm not sure. Saying that, I'm sure if you said to her you can have pars all the way in, I think she'd take it.
Good pacer putt that from Florentina Parker, winner of the Italian Open earlier this season. So, important putt for Ciganda. Doesn't want to give another away. 2 birdies, first 4 holes, just the start she wanted. Already 5 adrift. Make that 6.
It's going to be tough for Carlotta to come back from that. I think 6 shots back might just be too many.
Valenzuela with a chance for her to get to 8 under.
Just needed hitting. She's been so impressive this week.
Well, yeah, she's emerged, really. I don't think she was a name on too many people's lips coming into this week. Got an invite, and she has made the most of it, hasn't she? Well, she started the year, Amy Bolden, with no status at all, just missed out at the qualifying school, like Charlie Hull, part of the Curtis Cup winning team of a couple of years ago. But she really has made the most of her opportunities, and there's been 3 or 4 tournaments where she really has threatened to win. She was in a share of the lead going into the final half a dozen holes in the Czech Republic, wasn't she? And then, of course, a couple of weeks ago, she was in a share of the lead going into the final round.
I think Atha's pleased with this one.
Yeah, a little bit of a dog leg from right to left this hole, so she's over on that right-hand corner. Couple of bunkers down the left side here, so down the right really is where you should be.
Yeah, will also help to open up the view to the green as well, if you can keep this one down the right-hand side. This group now putting their foot on the gas, trying to catch up with the group in front.
Yeah, caught our cameraman on the hop there, didn't they? .364 yards this par 4, out with the driver for Hernandez. Just a rescue club for Carlota Siganda.
Yeah, not a long par 4 this. So Carlota clearly quite happy to lay back a little.
So 3 pretty good drives. Parker just trying to mop up here at 10. And a pretty good front 9 from Florentina Parker, out in 33. It's 35 out, 35 back, and she is currently 3rd on the leaderboard here at the Lacoste Ladies Open de France. But as far as the top's concerned, very much status quo intact. Maria Hernandez hasn't put a foot wrong. 1 birdie, 7 pars, and her lead is 3 shots, this time though over the French rookie Isabelle Buono. And as you can see, another couple of French players have moved into the top 10. Gladys Nacera and Anlise Caudal, both 2 under par for their round. Charlie Hull just couldn't afford that double bogey mistake at the 3rd hole. A little bit further down the leaderboard, some decent scoring. No one really setting it alight. Marlene Jorgensen, a couple over today. We saw that early birdie from Christine Wolf, but a couple of steps back since then. Nikki Campbell, as you can see there at the top of this page, going as well as anyone out on the course. She's 3 under par today. She had 6 birdies. Klara Spukova got it going early on, but she's just dropped shots at 8, 9 and 11. The teenage Czech player back to level par. Felicity Johnson got close to the top, didn't she, yesterday, at 5 under at one stage. Now back there at +2. She's had 3 bogeys, no birdies on the card for the Midlander.
Now will Maria Hernandez take this pin on, tucked tight on that right-hand side today.
She got it turning over a little bit. Yeah, I think she just needs to play steady golf, really, doesn't she? The fireworks are up to the chasing pack.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, steady golf is basically how she's been playing this week anyway. You know, she's given herself so many chances, taken a handful of them, but hasn't really put a foot wrong. She's continuing that today, so... Wow.
Well, she shot a 65 last year on the way to winning. 65 today would take her to 13 under par, one less than the total she managed 12 months ago. She has to go searching the flag. That's pretty good.
Yeah, just not quite getting the spin that Carlotta did. And she'll have a quick downhill putt from there.
Well, 3 Spanish players. We're about 15 minutes away, that's all, from the Spanish border. This was Seganda's efforts just a few minutes ago. Look how much backspin she had on that. Could have gone in. Because of the wetness of the course, we've seen a lot of balls even plugging on the green, haven't we?
Yeah, earlier on this morning, it was a little tricky out there for the players.
Well, that's the look up, the 11th, and Isabel Bueno there waiting to play her second shot. There's a little bit of a hold-up out on the course. She'll be very excited, Isabel Bueno, being in this position. Back on the tee, of course, waiting.
Yeah, 3 groups waiting on this 11th hole. Not quite an ideal situation for these players. Provides them with a lot of thinking time.
Well, that's the badge of Valenzuela, who was in Japan just a month ago, part of the Swiss team that performed there. Still 16, last year of high school. She's in demand from some of the universities in America. She looks relaxed. She's played like she belongs. Her goal this week was to make the cut.
Well, she's definitely done that.
And some. Maria Hernandez hasn't made many cuts this year. She's really struggled in America. She's not even had a top 30 all season. I think she's going to easily cross that barrier, but it's not top 30 she wants now.
No, she wants her hands on that trophy.
Ooh, now.
That's definitely not a gimme. There's work left in that one. Just the sorts of putts that you don't want to leave yourself.
Isabel Bueno. Got a good lie in the rough. We've seen this is a really tough pin to get at. Strange looking shot, really, wasn't it?
Not quite sure what happened there. The way she played it looked like she was trying to keep it low and run it up the green, but definitely not worked out for her there, and that is going to be extremely difficult. She'll do very well indeed to get down in 2 from there.
Looks like she didn't get through it, did she? Just almost quit on the shot. Well, this could put the pressure a little bit more on Maria Hernandez if Atha Munoz can just stick one in. It's not match play, but it's kind of a match play feel when you're in that final group and you've got the leader literally in your sight.
Absolutely, there's no doubt if this one... Wow, yeah, if this one's going to drop, I was just about to say, but Atha knocking that one in, and I think Maria Hernandez's putt is just going to feel a couple of feet longer now.
Up to 9 under par goes Atha. A toot of approval from someone in one of the cars driving past. Of course, Saganda has her own birdie chance as well. Of course, Saganda and Munoz both in the Solheim Cup team that won in Colorado a year ago. 3 points out of 3 Saganda got, even though she really wasn't at her best. Of course, the other Spanish player to be in that team was Beatriz Ricari, and they all played together to win the international crown early this season on the LPGA Tour. Another one drops. Just what she needed after the bogey at the last.
Yeah, Carlotta not giving up her challenge of this tournament just yet either. Now, can Charlie Hull produce some magic here at this 11th hole?
First time she's found the fairway at this hole, off the tee.
It's a miracle that ball didn't spin back.
Going to be a quick putt down the slope coming up for Charlie Hull. But after those birdies from Saganda and Munoz, a real test this for the leader, Maria Hernandez.
Yeah, this is a big, big putt for Maria.
Brilliant.
She passes that test well.
Nothing wrong with that front 9 at all. 9 holes to play. 3 shots to lead. Well, I think this is to do with the fact that maybe they're on the clock.
No, you have 40 seconds.
Yeah, it's to do with the timing.
50 if you are the first one.
Yeah, so the referee just explaining that if you're the first player in the group to play, you have 50 seconds to take your shot, and if you're the second or the third player, you have just 40, because they say that you have that extra time while the first player is playing to work out your yardage and what club you want to take. So Maria just checking that she's getting her timings right, because she certainly doesn't want to be in a position where she's getting penalised for slow play.
Yeah, Davide telling her the rules as they are. And that's the situation as we are. Maria Hernandez with a 3-shot lead over Buono, although the French player with a tough up and down left at 11. Munoz now up to 9 under par alongside Florentina Parker, who's teeing off at 11.
Perfect drive from Florentina. Now this is a test of her short game skills. Keeping it low.
Not going to be an easy 2-putt from there either, is it really?
No, she didn't actually need a lot more on that one. That green slope significantly right to left, so she was just trying to use that slope. But
now she loves this hole. Eagle on day 2, birdie on day 3. Wonder what she's got planned for us today.
Well, it's certainly not a hole in one.
Now that would be pushing it, even by her standards. Lovely clubhouse, really an old-fashioned course, built in 1928, been very much in the hands of the Lacoste family. René Tiontach, whose daughter Simone was a very good golfer, married René Lacoste, one of the 4 musketeers of French tennis in the years between World War I and II. Of course, ended up designing a fashionable label, which some of the players, of course, are wearing here this week, including Atha Munoz. He had a little session with the French players after play yesterday. Sometimes they've got the old crocodile out when they've been playing, but there was no crocodile yesterday.
Great view of that tee shot from Atha. Just scurries off the fairway, but certainly shouldn't be causing her any problems there.
Yeah, the 18th fairway down the left-hand side here, so no problem being down that left side, although there is about a half a dozen bunkers down there waiting if you just go too far left. Well, that went a long way left, didn't it?
Yeah, I was actually looking at her alignment there. She was aiming straight at those bunkers.
Yeah, not totally happy, Saganda. You can understand why. Had an indifferent season. 66th on the money list in America. I suppose crocodiles would be no problem for Hernandez after she's done that running with the balls in her hometown of Pamplona.
Yeah, rather her than me on that one, I think.
Although those crocodiles can move pretty fast when they want to as well. Well, big swing right to left. This for par as well. That could be good if it releases. Yeah, you can see the greens have just slowed up a bit, haven't they? Yesterday that would easily have got to the hole and maybe gone about 3 or 4 feet past it because of that rain overnight. They've slowed up a little.
Well, the crowds are enjoying the golf today. Nice to see so many.
See, yesterday this was a touch putt. I wonder if it's going to be as quick today for Charlie Hull. It is.
It is, yeah. She seemed to hit that one fairly firm. Clearly was very confident, stood over it, but that's the difficulty with it. She's now got a very testing putt coming back for her par.
It's been a tricky little time this for Charlie Hull. She suffered some stomach issues the last 3 weeks, then tonsillitis this week, and a lot of travelling involved. She did have a week off last week, but she's off to Malaysia to play in the latest LPGA event next week. I mean, she's not playing badly. She's been in contention again this week. She was 4th a couple of weeks ago in Spain, or in Tenerife for the Spanish Open, but she is such a talent, and there's no doubt that we've seen her go on some terrific runs this week.
Yeah, I think it's testament to how good a player she really is. The fact that she's been keeping herself up there the last few weeks despite not feeling 100%.
And she was in a share of the lead, wasn't she, yesterday early afternoon?
This is a tricky putt for Isabel Bueno for bogey.
Oh, no. Well, 2004, Stephanie Araco won the French Open. And there was a chance, maybe, that Isabel Bueno stepping onto this 11th hole could be the next, but a double bogey 6. And I think that will be that. Look at the 10th, Charlie.
Yeah, great look down this par 4. You can see there those 6 bunkers on the left-hand side, which also come into play from the 18th tee, which you can see just on the left-hand side of the screen there. Once again, a very narrow opening into this green that the players have to negotiate with. The pin just 5 yards from the right-hand side of the green today, so that right-hand bunker, I'm sure, has been seeing some action.
Yeah, we saw Bueno go in there earlier, didn't we? Perfect drive from Maria Hernandez. But not such a perfect second.
No, that's going to be testing for her as well. She's got that small mound to come up and over, down towards the hole.
Well, back 9 is when it matters most, and yeah, she's a terrific player. She had a fantastic amateur record, suffered badly with injuries, had to remodel her swing, and this is the first time she's really been in contention for 4 years. You just wonder whether she can just stay rock solid. It wouldn't be surprising if we saw some nerves from her, would it?
No, I think you almost, in a way, it would make her seem human almost. But yeah, it's very tough. Maria's had a really tough time. Obviously, she's played fantastically well this week. I think it would be nice to see her close this out, but...
I mean, we see the likes of Atha Munoz, Ziganda, they played in the Solheim Cup. We've seen Ricari win on the LPGA Tour. Really good Spanish players. Maria Hernandez, 3 or 4 years ago, she was in that same bracket of up-and-coming Spanish players. But then she had this really bad injury, which is something similar to what you've suffered, and obviously it's been a long road back for her.
Yeah, she's had herniated discs in her neck, had to completely rebuild her swing, which she actually started 2 years ago, so it's taken 2 years for her to get to this point.
Well, Atha Munoz can smell blood perhaps here. Great birdie at the last. Hernandez out of position. All right at it as well. One more club required.
Yeah, perhaps even half a club. Now, what can Amy Bolden do here at the 11th?
Her outfit matching the sky.
Yeah, she planned that one well today.
Such a hard flag to get to, isn't it? Because if you go long like she did yesterday, you end up with a double bogey on the card.
Yeah, she certainly wasn't going to be making that mistake today.
Well, we saw her go in the bunker off the tee. She put a second to here. It's all getting a little scrappy, isn't it, from Carlota Ziganda?
Yeah, not quite playing the great golf we know she can, but...
She's a fighter, isn't she?
She is, you know, she's 1 under par for her round, playing scrappy golf, so perhaps she can switch it on this back nine. Well, we saw she got a lot of action on the last hole. She's doing it again here.
Crowd like it, though. She doesn't.
Yeah, I think as a spectator, you always like to see a bit of backspin, but that's only good if you've hit it past the hole.
Par 3-12 for Charlie Hill, across the valley, slightly uphill at this 12th hole, playing 138 yards today. Well, she'll do well to match her birdie of yesterday. Hold an 8-iron here on Friday. That needs to get going.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think she'll be doing well to make par from down there.
It's kind of like this Hoosa one, isn't it? She's the only one that's mastered it this week until now. And if you can come off the 11th with 4 pars this week, you've gained some ground, and she's had an eagle and a birdie. I mean, there's a lot of green to work with here for Maria, so not particularly difficult, is it, Charlie?
I mean, I think that the one problem she's going to have is that she's chipping straight downhill. So it's just trying to stop it. As you can see, it's running out. But I think the rain that we had overnight perhaps helped her there.
She might have expected that to kick on a little bit more and get closer. It looked a pretty good shot.
I think so, yeah. Obviously, it's been very difficult because we've had quite dry and warm conditions all week. So the players will be used to the ball rolling out a lot on the greens. Just not quite happening today, and that's a test. She's left herself a par.
And after that double bogey at the last hole, Isabel Bueno. The green slopes here left to right, so anything just left of the flag will do you. Although just right is not too bad either. Getting it to stop very quickly. Well, she might be just off the green, but this is obviously a putt again that Atha Munoz will fancy. Trotting into the shadow.
Yeah, it's always difficult as well. That green will be a lot damper in that area where the shadow's covering. But at the same time, she won't want to be knocking this one past.
Never had it on the right line. Never had it hard enough. I'm not sure who's further away for par, her or Maria. Hit a similar putt like that on the first, didn't she? We saw her hold out at the start of the programme, putting for par. She hit a... Go on. How about that from Amy Bolden? She's been a birdie machine, hasn't she?
Yeah, she really has. That's birdie number 4 today.
Well, she had 7 yesterday, I think. Carlotta for par. All 3 players struggling to come off this rather innocuous looking 10th hole with a par. Never going to get there either.
Yeah, players just not judging this one very well.
Well, I said the bogey on the 8th was probably one too many.
You just never know with Carlotta, though. She can switch it on.
Yeah, as can Charlie Hull. Currently 4th on the order of merit. Good putt.
Yeah, very good putt there. Just broke after the hole. As you can see, the ball's ended up in the middle of the hole, just beyond it. Very frustrating for Charlie Hull.
Yeah, over the first 3 days, she only hit 65% of fairways off the tee. You can't afford that. Not this time for Hernandez. First bogey since the 2nd hole yesterday. And her lead is cut. 3 shots. This for par for Valenzuela. Well, what an opportunity. She made up a shot on the last green, and this is to make up a shot once again on the 10th.
Yeah, I think Atha really does need to knock this one in if she's going to have any chance of catching Maria Hernandez. Breaking ever so slightly off her left.
Well, just when the door was opened a little bit, slammed back in her face.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow as well, because she did hit such a great second shot there, just coming up half a club short. You can see the reaction here. She knows how important that was.
Isabel Bueno. Little lap of honour. And back into a tie for second. Well, she's 3 shots back. I kind of ruled it out with that double bogey at the last, but oh, it's been a bit hard work for him as well, isn't it? A little bit of a yawn. You're a dog fan, aren't you, Charlie?
I am a dog fan, yes. I have 2 at home, so although I don't think I'd take mine onto the golf course. I've got one very calm one and one rather noisy one. I don't think would be very welcome.
I've got a calm one and a noisy one, but they're my kids. So the final group have reached the 11th tee. We're back a hole further up at the 12th. Great birdie at the last, and every chance Amy Bolden is going to make another. She has made them in batches this week. She had 3 in a row, 5, 6 and 7, 1 at 11, 1 possibly coming up at 12.
Yeah, she's definitely a one to watch for the future.
I've worked it out. If she finishes in 4th position, she will go to the top of the Rookie of the Year race. Right now, she's tied with Atha Munoz in 4th position. My maths isn't always spot on.
No, I believe you are right there, Richard. The top 4 finish would be enough for Amy.
Of course, still another 4 events to go this season. This is event 19 of 24 on the Ladies European Tour calendar. But the last in continental Europe. Well, you can see from that graphic, she had a real struggle over on that right-hand side of the green yesterday. Took a double bogey when she was in a share of the lead. So look down towards the tee at this uphill par 4. They've moved the tee forward a little bit today, where the crowd are standing. That's where they were hitting from yesterday. It's gone forward about 11, 12 yards. So 355 yards today. Ooh, tree bound.
Yeah, that's not what Maria Hernandez was after.
I think there's enough room over there. Wasn't a good looking shot, but I think she might have got away with it. If
Yeah,
it was
she's-
fast running, that was into trouble, but because it's soft, I think it got a nice landing.
Yeah, she's hit a few shots today with that right to left pull.
Listen, she's made all these swing changes. You know, when the pressure's really on, that's when it's going to be a real test of how much they've bedded in. I mean, you've had to change your swing completely. I mean, you know, don't you, that you can be hitting it well and suddenly a bad one's going to come in.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're under pressure, like your mind is going crazy and your body just goes into autopilot, so it could quite easily slip back into her old ways.
Well, let's hope for Maria Hernandez's sake that isn't the case, because she has played so well. Leader, of course, after day 1 and day 2. 4 shots her lead overnight. And despite that drop shot at the 10th, still very much in control at Chantaco Golf. Her lead 3 shots over the French rookie Isabelle Buono and this year's Italian Open champion, Florentine Parker. Yeah, surprise 3-putt that from Munoz. Just when she looked like she might get closer to the top. Charlie Hull, well, still inside that top 10 along with the 16-year-old amateur. She's only 2 years younger than Charlie Hull, but obviously we know less about Valenzuela than we do about Charlie. Ariane Prevost, another young French player who's doing well here this week. In fact, we've got an all-Spanish pairing, haven't we, in the top group? There's a pairing about 5 from last. It's all French. They got a good crowd with them. The birdie from Florentina Parker.
Yeah, she gets within 2 of Maria Hernandez.
Yeah. 3rd birdie of the day. No drop shots from Florentina. Albane Valenzuela now. Another excellent tee shot. Yeah. Making this 12th hole look easy, aren't they? Of course, Amy's even closer.
Yeah, Amy's pretty much just got a tap in here. Just an incredible performance from this young amateur.
The only thing is, whereas Parker and Valenzuela were putting up the slope, this is downhill for Amy Bolden.
Yeah, downhill and a little mover right to left. Also putting through her own shadow, which is also hard.
So now we made this a tough one.
Yeah, suddenly.
No problem.
And I don't think you'll see that again today. 3 birdies in the same group on the 12th.
Fantastic golf. Just needs it to turn over a little more.
Yeah, looks a little right.
Pretty good length.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how it stayed there. She's literally in the upslope of that bank.
I think it's plugged into it. As I said, I think she got away with it here, really, because of the soft conditions. I mean, she doesn't really have to flirt with the tree. She can try and just play a nice little draw around.
Yeah, she can almost aim at the man with his binoculars at the back of the green there.
Look at that. In fact, she started it straight at the flag. And now it's catching the slope. So that is going to be a really tough putt coming up. Tough 2-putt.
Absolutely.
And I think, you know, as I say, quite understandably, we're starting to see the sign of a few nerves from Maria Hernandez. Florentina Parker now within 2 shots.
Yeah, I think it would have been very unusual for us to not see some nerves from Maria. Obviously, we touched upon it earlier. She's not been in this position for a very long time. Has been through so much since her win in Slovakia in 2010. Carlotta is certainly giving this a go.
Well, it's been a tough little time for Carlotta Saganda. Her coach recently passed away quite suddenly when she was playing at the LPGA Wegmans. Man, she called her second dad, so she's been on a bit of an emotional roller coaster the last few weeks. Buono now. Yeah, it's just come up short of the green.
Yeah, I think she was very lucky there as well, because that one went right up into the trees. Could have gone anywhere.
Someone get rid of that fly. But it's very well poised, isn't it, for a showdown over this back 9 at Golf Chantaco. The weather's fine. Seems in terrific golf, and the lead at the top has narrowed. And Hernandez with a tough 2-putt to come at 11 as well, after that great birdie from Parker at 12. Amy Bolden matching her as well there. It's like a beautiful late summer's afternoon in the southwest corner of France. 13th hole, you can see top of that hill. It's kind of a semi-blind tee shot. That's going left. Now, will she get the luck that Isabel Buono got?
Well, we could see it, so...
Well, her caddy got a good view of it.
Yeah, I don't think she was trying to quite get that close to him, though.
Amy conserving his energy there, letting him stay up. That's where the walk-off is from the 12th green, isn't it?
Yeah, looking after him. He's been looping for a while.
Well, when you caddy for Seve Ballesteros in the late 80s, you've been around a while. The hard thing here, isn't it, is just to hit it hard enough. I mean, it's such a big slope. It's very slow.
Yeah, it's hitting it hard enough and high enough. She has to keep this one up the left-hand side, otherwise it's just going to take that slope too quickly.
Very good. I mean, that was a good putt, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a very good putt, but still a little tester for her.
And she took a mighty swing at it. So another testing putt coming up. You know, she was looking rock solid, but that's now 9, 10 and 11 where the pressure is on the par putt. She passed the test on 9. Obviously failed at a 10. Now she's got another one coming up at 11. And again, this is not straightforward for Munoz.
No, absolutely not. This is going to swing off her right. We've seen there's some really quite dodgy putts around here. Even from a couple of feet, they're certainly not gimmies on this hole. She could really do with holing one. That would be the perfect time. She seemed to hit that quite hard, but it's not there. 3 feet left in that one for a par.
Well, I think the greens have slowed up a little bit from yesterday, but this is the 11th hole, and they do know, obviously from the previous 10, the way it's rolling, and they also know that's the severest slope of the lot.
Yeah, very tricky hole.
1-0, looking to get up and down.
She's certainly giving herself a chance. Now Saganda with the best chance here.
Well, she's got another chance, hasn't she, to bounce back off a drop shot with a birdie like she did at 8 and 9.
You can see there the crowd's really picking up now. Breaking right to left. Just allowed too much. Very unusual for Carlotta for that one to not even hit the hole.
I think that just shows the severity of this green. Problems for Charlie Hull here at 13.
And
Well,
she drops back to 5 under par.
had a brilliant end to a second round, great start to a third round, but it's all been a little indifferent since. Now, come on, Maria. Her lead is only 2 shots from Florentina Parker, and this to avoid a second drop shot in a row.
I think the nerves will be starting to show here on this putt. She'll know how important it is for her to knock this one in.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago she was 4 shots ahead. Very good.
And she hold a great putt on 9. Great putt here at 11.
I feel there's going to be 1 or 2 more tests to come her way.
I think it's when I drop it, I then get a problem, don't I? Like it can drop.
I'm understanding this is a free drop.
I believe so, yeah. Amy actually
Amy?
looks like there's her ball's there surrounded by white paint.
And I can drop
Tree
it.
roots, something. So that's a free drop for Amy Bolden.
Well, Hernandez with a terrific 2-putt. Arthur Munoz with another one of those. And this is tougher, a little bit tougher than the one that Hernandez had. Right
Yes.
to left.
She's seen Carlotta miss high. No problem for Arthur.
So the world number 15 still hopes alive, albeit 4 shots behind the leader. Buono to try and save her part. Well, she spent a lot of time with the likes of Victor Dubuisson as a youngster in the academy in Montpellier. I'm sure she was watching with interest as Victor helped clinch that victory for Europe last week, and maybe a little bit inspired, but whatever happens from here, it's been a very impressive French Open debut from Isabelle Buono, but a double bogey at the 11th, now a drop shot at 13. Proved very costly.
Just trying to make sure she gets this number right, so she knows exactly how far she has.
They're looking at the old yardage books here.
Yeah, you go ahead if you like.
Wasn't he the man that first started designing yardage books, you were telling me?
He was, yeah, he was the first man ever to make a yardage book on the men's tour. So he knows how they work. So the leaders approaching this par 3 12th. Very small green.
Yeah, it's quite a feature of this golf course. A lot of small greens, even the par 5s. ...138 yards today.
Ideally, Athel will be keeping this one just left of the pin.
Well, it looked like it was right at it. And it's swung away to the left-hand side.
That's not going to be easy from there.
Yeah, pretty ordinary by her standards.
And that's the challenge that Atha Munoz faces.
Just don't know what you're going to get with Carlos Saganda at the moment. There's some brilliance, there's some indifferent shots that she's thrown in over the last couple of days as well.
Well, that one was brilliant. Very nice shot indeed from Carlotta.
Well, a real test for Amy Bolden. Going to have to do it low. Good news for her is that the contours of the fairway kind of favour her here. Looked a very good shot.
Yeah, that one's going to chase up there nicely. Won't quite make it onto the green, but that's a good result for Amy from where she was. Now, what can the leader do?
Just a bit of movement up by the green, putting her off. She's got a good friend, Angel, on the bag. First time he's caddied for her. And I think he's enjoyed it. He's a very good golfer. Plays off +2, but never contested as far as it. Just obviously enjoyed being on the bag. Her family are all here as well. Mum, brother, sister. First time they've all come together to watch her play an event like this, so it's a lot of pressure. Obviously enjoyable too. And she is playing some terrific golf shots. Only lives a couple of hours drive from here.
Not Florentina Parker's best iron shot here at 13.
24th edition of a tournament that goes all the way back to 1987 on the Ladies European Tour. Lotte Neumann, the winner of the first French Open. Brilliant.
Oh, what a great shot from Amy Bolden. Trouble off the tee, about 6 inches for her par.
And a little high five from Ian Wright as well. Well, things far from dusted at Golf Chantaco, that's for sure. The Lacoste Ladies Open de France entering the heat of the battle. Maria Hernandez standing firm, though, as she was overnight. 12 under par, but that 4-shot lead cut in half by Florentina Parker, who's had 3 unanswered birdies so far. Amy Bolden, great up and down, still not out of it, looking for her first LET win. Isabel Bueno taking a step back. Arthur Munoz with a costly bogey at the 10th hole, but still certainly not out of things. Gladys Nocera, well, she's had 3 birdies, 2 bogeys today. Top 10 for Gladys, who's had another very consistent year on the Ladies European Tour. Nora Taminin, one of the Finns going well this week. Of course, Minnie Blomqvist up there as well. Taminin finished in the top 10 in Helsingborg, actually looking for a 3rd top 10 of the year.
Very good effort from Flora Parker there.
Players have got themselves some nice presents this week, haven't they? Handbags, makeup, all sorts of stuff that the sponsors have gone their way. Did you get to see any of it, Charlie?
I didn't, unfortunately,
Oh,
no.
that's not fair. I'll tell you what, if I'd have got any makeup or handbags, I would have passed them your way.
Thanks, Richard. That's a relief.
Yeah, brown's not my colour. Well, her challenge has kind of faded, hasn't it, Valenzuela? At 7 under, but her durability has been incredible. Look at this.
Wow. Oh, I thought she had that.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what she does next with her career, isn't it? Because obviously there's going to be some sponsors who will be watching this coverage, watching what she's doing. She's very much part of the Swiss national setup. She, ever likely, given the fact she was born in New York, when she talks, even though she's got a Mexican dad and a French father, she's got a bit of an American twang to her accent. You'd have thought the colleges in America are going to come calling, aren't they?
I think so, yeah, and I think she needs to also, just be very aware of the fact that she's only 16 years old.
Yeah, but you look at Lexi Thompson, Lydia Ko, at 15, 16, they're competing week in, week out.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't spoken to her, so I don't know what her plans are, but I think it seems to be the thing these days for the players to go to the US.
Great putt from Munoz. Yeah, super effort from Arthur Munoz. Not an easy putt down the slope at this par 3 12th. Not a gimme par, but birdie chances coming up for Sagander and Hernandez in a moment. Parker looking to clean up after a good chip shot.
Well done.
Yeah, great up and down from Florentina Parker, and she stays within 2 of Maria Hernandez.
Well, this is like the golf she was playing day 2. She was bogey free then, Florentina Parker. 66, 67 over the first 2 days. 65, 67, and Hernandez followed by that 66 yesterday.
Just forgot to hit it.
It's difficult to know. Sometimes they say it's a sign of nerves when you knock putts like that short, but given the greens are so slow up the hill, it might be just that rather than any nerves that are crept in.
Yeah, it could be. I think also there's got to be some thought in your head about how fast these downhill putts are coming back, so caution needed. Isabel Bueno. Fantastic shot here into 14.
You can hear the crowd trying to get behind her. Missed a good chance at the last.
See how quick that putt is.
Not that quick though. Finished second at the Spanish Open a couple of weeks ago in Tenerife, did Carlotta. Well, blind tee shot. Amy going with an iron off the tee at this par 4. Two options in there: out with the driver, try and get through the rough that's in the middle of the fairway, or play it short like Amy's done and find the fairway for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the difficulty is that the rough through the middle of the fairway is very thick.
Oh, he's having a good time. Look at that.
He likes the rough.
Yeah. Got a good scratch of the back, didn't he?
Flory opting for driver here.
So the difference is she'll have a wedge 9-iron in. Amy's going to have a long way still to go, isn't she?
Yeah, Amy will have about 180 yards from where she is, but as we mentioned, she will be playing from the flat ground.
Whereas Florentina will be coming out of the rough on a downslope.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a risk-reward shot. I mean, Flory's probably going to have no more than a 9 or an 8 iron from there, but it's a bit of a gamble with a lie.
Sticking in there, isn't she, Ather, at the moment? No brilliance from her. Still 4 shots adrift. Kind of want to know what they're talking about, don't you, really?
I know, she looks like she's getting a little animated. Love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation.
My Spanish isn't that good, and of course they're a bit too far away from me.
Cleverly putting her back to the camera as well.
Pars all round. 2 shots still the lead for Maria Hernandez. 6 holes to play. This the group with Isabel Bueno. Found it tough to adapt. This is her first season on the Ladies European Tour. She's another of those that spent quite a lot of time out in America. Played on the Symetra Tour last season, had 3 top 10s. So she's featured before a leaderboard. She lost out in the playoff last April in one of those events out there. That's the secondary tour out in America. It's for birdie.
Not going to be, but that's a great judgment of pace from Isabel.
Well, she is looking for her first top 25 this season. I think that looks nailed on. So the final group have reached the 13th tee. And I like, this is a good part of the course, I think. 13, 14, 15. Good holes, good par fours, obviously, apart from 15 to par 5. Everything here just kind of slopes away, doesn't it, left to right?
Yeah, the fairway slopes quite severely. So crucial for these girls to be finding the left-hand side of the fairway with their drives. Mostly flat lies, though.
Well, I think she's pretty happy with that one.
Yeah, that one scuttles down the fairway very nicely.
No wins this season for Atha, despite knocking on the door several times in America. Atha 2 times a Solheim Cup player. Carlotta made her debut last year.
And what a debut it was.
I'll tell you what sticks out in my head most from Carlotta was that 15th hole. Do you remember when they had that 40-minute delay? And then she ended up knocking it in off the green to win the hole.
Quite incredible. I don't think the American players were too happy.
No, you can say that again. Yeah, it was a remarkable incident. Well, some say unlucky 13. I don't think Maria Hernandez says that because, look, birdie, birdie, birdie the first 3 days.
Yeah, she clearly likes this hole. Most important job now is just to find the fairway.
Quick to pick up the tee. Looks no problem. Just finding the right rough, but that's okay. Well, she hit the front on day 1, didn't she, Maria Hernandez, with a brilliant round of 65. And no one has got past her since. She's been caught once or twice, but no one's gone above her on the leaderboard. And she sits there still into the last half a dozen holes of this Lacoste Ladies Open de France, looking for her first win since May 2010 when she won the Slovak Open. Florentina Parker, her closest challenger right now. Charlie Hull with that bogey at 13, now slipping back to 5 under par. Valenzuela dropping a shot at 13 as well, 6 under par. You really feel that even at a stretch, the winner's going to come from the top 6, and I say a stretch because Sagander is 5 back with 6 to play. Ariane Provo there just birdied 15 to get herself to 2 under par. Drop shot for Tamminen at 14. You can see a couple of 69s in there. Tidia Blacksadaporn of Thailand. And Nikki Campbell, who's had 8 top 10s this season. 1 under for the day, past 70 here, which is what Chloe Lerquin managed from Belgium. Christine Wolff slipping backwards. So, from a long way back, Amy Bolden.
Yeah, I would think this is about a 4 iron Amy's got here. And coming up a club short.
But I kind of would prefer to have been playing where she was than where Florentina Parker is now.
Yeah, I think so. You can see there Flory having to really muscle it out. Try and chase it up the green, not quite managed it. And that's the danger with going with driver at this 14th hole.
Now, Maria. Thought the tee shot might have just caught the right rough, but in fact she's in position A. We've seen her hit some majestic second shots in here yesterday, day before. Her birdie putts were no more than 6 feet away. Well, her favourite hole, position 8. Can she knock it in close again?
She's talking to it. Good shot.
Yeah, her and Munoz go back a long way. They used to live together in the Spanish setup when they were young teenage girls in Barcelona and Madrid. Played together for the Spanish national team. This one's leaking right from Munoz. Oh dear.
Not quite what we were expecting of Atha. And the disappointment's written all over her face.
Well, she did well to get up and down for par at the last stop. Parker with another chance to do so. Is Saganda now finally in her stride? Great shot into 12. Well, it was a good looking shot here at 13. Well, it's at times like this that you need a moment of magic, some inspiration, a chip in or something like that. 3 shots off the lead.
I'm sure it would be welcomed.
Wasn't far away, was it? She has shown some great maturity this year, Amy Bolden. Very impressed with her golf game. Lovely part of France, this, in the Basque region, in the southwest, Saint-Jean-de-Luz. Just to the east of the Bay of Biscay. To stay within 2 shots of the lead. Very good. Well, she had a moment of magic, didn't she, when she won earlier this year in Albatross, on her way to winning the Italian Open in that final round.
Yeah, I don't think she'll forget that one in a hurry.
I don't think we all will. Well, think of all the... I mean, she's had a few double bogeys this week, hasn't she, Amy?
Yeah, she's had 2 doubles on her scorecards throughout the rounds this week, as well as 5 single bogeys, so...
Shows you how many birdies she's had
yeah,
as well.
She's had an incredible amount of birdies.
Yeah, we're going to be in for a very interesting finish here.
This one looks like it's sitting quite nicely for Atha.
Well, this time last week, she was glued to the TV set, cheering on Sergio and the boys at the Ryder Cup. She said her first memory actually was the Ryder Cup in Spain when, of course, at Valderrama she was pretty young there. She remembers watching that. In half time, she actually goes to one or two of the men's events and watches. She went to Doral earlier in the season, went and watched the World Golf Championship event there. Sit.
Yeah, not a bad effort there from Atha.
Well, she knows she needs to make things happen. She, you know, obviously was going all out to hold that. I think it was Patrick Reed that won at Doral, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe it was actually.
He got quite excited last week, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
We haven't seen anything like that from any of the players here this week, have we?
No.
No one shushing the crowd.
Yeah, he got very riled up, didn't he? So Siganda, opportunity to get to -8 and within 4.
It's interesting looking at the scores today. No one lighting up. We've seen a 64 this week is the best we've seen. That was from our 16-year-old amateur. Of course, Ananda shot 65 yesterday. The conditions today, they seem easier than yesterday. It's warmer, less windy, and yet, you know, we had a few 66s yesterday. No one really threatening to go low, is there?
No, I think it's final round pressures and also, I mean, I've looked through the pin sheet and I think the pins are the toughest they've been all week today.
Florentina's 3 under, Amy Bolden 3 under for their round. Gladys and Sarah, another who's 3 under for the day. That's about as good as it gets. 69, the best score in the clubhouse. Oh no, actually Sally Watson shot a 67. Maria Hernandez with a chance to make birdie at this 13th hole for the 4th day in a row. Give herself a bit more of a cushion at the top. Ooh. Oh dear. I think she was maybe a bit scared of that one.
I think she was very tentative putting stroke there. And birdie it's not going to be for Maria here today.
Did well to get as close as it did, didn't it, really? Maybe that fly's putting her off.
You would think Atha really needs to hold this one. Par putt to stay at 8 under par. Very fast putt, breaking off the right. Great up and down from Atha Munoz.
Yeah, and come the 18th hole, that might prove to be crucial. Yeah, Atha Munoz, who won in her first start as a pro on the LET. Maria Hernandez won in her second start as a pro on the Ladies European Tour. Of course, since that win, her curve's not been quite the same as Munoz. Well, the first putt was tentative, the second was awkward. And goodness me, her lead's down to 1.
This thing is not over.
I kind of feel for her, I don't know about you. Obviously, we've seen this before in many golf tournaments around the world on many different tours, but she has given herself the platform here for victory, and you feel like coming into this back 9, it was hers to lose, and dropping a shot at 10, and that was a really poor 3-putt, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's an unforced error there. Final group now going to play this 14th hole. And I think now it's safe to say the nerves will be getting to Maria Hernandez. Her lead down to just 1 shot. And
what a boost for Saganda and Munoz playing alongside her. I mean that obviously in the nicest way. Of course, they don't really want to see players doing that, but it's given them some real hope.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they were almost out of it, but now the door is open.
Going with the driver, Arthur. You really want to try and get this one down the left-hand side if you can, because it's a bit short of the grass there. And I think that's what Arthur's done.
Just in the shadows there in the left-hand side of the rough.
There it is. Sitting nicely.
Absolutely.
Munoz now just 3 off the lead. Saganda 4 back. She gives it a spank, doesn't she?
Yeah, she certainly doesn't hold back.
There's a great rhythm to her swing, isn't it?
That's gone miles.
Yeah, it's further down than our cameraman expects it. Pressure's on for Maria Hernandez. 5 holes to go, and the lead is a very slender 1.
How's she going to respond? Coming off the back of that bogey.
No cameras, please.
And that's all she needs. It's kind of the way it sometimes is in France. I remember being at the French Open when Bubba was having his little tirade. But it's great to see so many fans here. A lot of good young kids as well out watching this final round. Hopefully inspired by what they're seeing. French golf on the up. But of course, it's a Spanish trio they're watching here.
Yeah.
Good looking tee shot.
Yeah, I think this one will have some venom in it. Somewhere down that left-hand side.
Isabel Bono at the downhill par 5, 15, just around 500 yards. Reachable in 2. Bono now just 3 shots off the lead, despite her own issues on this back 9. That needs to keep running down. It could be very good. Oh, a few more rolls.
Yeah, still a very good shot from Isabel. And back on this 15th tee. Amy Bolden looking to find the fairway.
Not that many leaderboards started around. She probably won't be aware she's only 2 shots off the lead now.
No, I think the next one to her is to the right of the 16th green.
She knows she's got to make birdies.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we've seen a few eagles even on this hole today, which I'm sure will be welcome to both Florentina and Amy.
Well, she was in the lead on the front 9 yesterday, and now she's only 1 adrift. Florentina Parker. A little bit of concern from her, but that should be okay. Fairway slopes left to right.
Yeah, perhaps just not as far down as she would have liked.
Haven't seen much of Charlie Hull today, have we really? I suppose This is the hole yesterday where she produced a great chip in, didn't she? Eagled this hole as well once this week.
Yeah, good chance for a birdie 4 for Charlie today.
Well, it's tightened up, hasn't it? Maria Hernandez's 3-putt on the last green means all to play for over the closing holes at Chantaco Golf.
Final group making their way to their drives on this 14th, but we'll head to Isabel Bueno, who's putting for eagle on 15.
Yeah, this to get to within 1 shot of the lead. Hasn't hit it.
Very good.
Good judgment of pace, just a little wide.
Of course, I meant to say hasn't hit high enough. That's what I was going to say, really. Good birdie. Very solid. 2 shots back. Well, 4 French players finished a runner-up last year to Arthur Munoz, Gladys Nacera, Valentine Derry, Joanna Clatan and Carrie Nichet. Well, 3 pretty good tee shots here. Ball below her feet here for Arthur Munoz.
Sounded like a good, clean connection. Not bad.
Well, I don't think it's far away for Charlie Hull getting her game to click in all departments. What a great drive from Saganda here.
Yeah, just a 3-wood as well off the tee.
Great drive.
What an error.
Very moderate second. This is where she hit that horrible shot yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah. Not Carlotta's best there. I mean, she kind of had more than a sand wedge.
Well, she stuck it to about 2 inches yesterday, didn't she? From a very similar position. Very different though, is it? It's Saturday to Sunday.
Yeah, pressure day. Pressure also on our leader now, Maria Hernandez. Well, not the finest display from these 3 Spanish players.
No, there was a chance today, obviously, with the way Maria Hernandez was playing over the first 3 days, that she might just stretch away from the rest of the field and it would be a procession, but turned to be very different than that. And Florentina Parker, well, an up and down to get into a tie for the lead.
Yeah, in a very similar position to where Charlie Hull was just a moment ago. Amy Bolden looking to get green side now.
There's a bunker left there. She's just avoided that.
Yeah, that's a very good effort. Just against the collar of the rough. Might prove slightly difficult for Amy, but we've seen she's got an incredible array of short game skills.
Well, it's an interesting bunch up the leaderboard. Maria Hernandez, of course, who's had these injury problems, leading the way. You've got Solheim Cup players in Saganda here and Munoz. Rookies like Buono and Bolden. Winners like this year, like Florentina Parker. They're all the players in the hunt for this French Open title.
Work left in that one for Saganda.
She's got a lovely short game, but that really was a 5 out of 10 for her.
Yeah, she knows it as well. Can't afford to be doing that when you're chasing the leader.
Well, Maria Hernandez is going to putt this one.
This will be a test.
Yeah, I think we might say that a few more times over these last 4 or 5 holes. Slow down. No. Not a bad putt, but given the circumstances, not the kind of par putt she wants to leave herself.
Yeah, I think she would have rather that one just be sat nicely next to the hole and she could just finish it, but a good 4 or 5 feet left in that one for her par.
It's funny, isn't it? Oh, what was it, about hole 8, 9? We were saying, oh, everything's coming pretty easy. There's been little stress from her. She had a birdie, all the rest pars, and every hole now seems to be stressful, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can almost see it on her face as well. Earlier on today, she was all smiles, walking very differently to how she is now. Perhaps the pressure starting to get to our leader.
Well, you can see Valbuena's ball just emerging on the green in 3. But of course, our focus on this group is on the other 2 players who are very much in the thick of it. Their names on that leaderboard. Florentina Parker and Amy Bolden.
Yeah, Florentina just walking up to the pin there to work out exactly how far she has to the hole. These girls are so precise with their wedge play.
Munoz for birdie.
She's given it a wrap. Now let's see what Florentina can do.
That caddy there, Mark, normally caddies for Harley Clyburn, doesn't he? Was he on the bag for both her wins this year?
I'm not sure, actually.
That's a little clumsy, that one from Florentina.
Yeah, just a little.
Of course, Harley Clyburn not here this week after giving it a go at Q School in America. Poor second, poor third, but nothing that a good putt wouldn't put right.
Not going to be for Saganda, and all 3 players actually getting those putts wrong. All not allowing for that left to right break.
Yeah, they're not quite the Spanish Armada, are they, this afternoon, these 3? Eagle putt, even though it's from off the green here for Amy Bolden. Needs to slow down.
Yeah, these putts, you can see the pressure's just starting to get to the players, just going a couple of feet too far past.
Well, she needs a couple of deep breaths, Maria Hernandez. I just wonder whether it was being put on the clock, maybe just ruffled her a little bit. We saw her talking to Davide, one of the officials here. That was a good stroke.
Yeah, very impressive from Maria Hernandez.
Well, we know, she knows. She really can't afford to give away another shot at this stage. Interesting, a little bit of strapping on her left wrist there, Carlota Saganda. Sorry, Ata Munoz. I hadn't noticed that the first few days.
Yeah, she's had it on all week. I'm not quite sure what the problem is there. Clearly not too serious. Perhaps just a little bit of support.
For a share of the lead, not to be.
Yeah, that's going to hurt Florentina Parker. This is definitely a birdie hole.
Big moment come out for Amy Bolden, isn't it? Black the legs. Well, we're in for a fantastic finish, aren't we? At the Lacoste Ladies Open de France. Who can claim edition number 24 of this golf tournament? Maria Hernandez, 1 ahead of Florentina Parker and 2 ahead of Isabel Bueno and Amy Bolden. Ata Munoz, the defending champion, not out of it yet, but the pressure certainly heaps on the shoulders of our Spanish leader, Maria Hernandez. Sophie Gustafsson, of course 8 times a Solheim Cup player. Level par for the day. .68 from Jade Schaefer, birdied 17 and 18. I bet she could sell that to 1 or 2 players. So birdie chance for Bolden to put herself within 1.
A really big putt for Amy. Oh my goodness me.
Robbed.
Very harsh indeed.
Angel lining up. Maria Hernandez. You can hear family and friends cheering her on.
Great drive, splitting the fairway.
Yeah.
Nice par for Bueno at 16.
So no birdie for Bolden, no birdie for Florentina Parker, and I wonder how costly that'll prove to be for them. Certainly helps the cause of Maria Hernandez, doesn't it?
Yeah, a bit of breathing space still. Although, of course, you won't know what's gone on in front.
Very good from Amy Bolden. Another birdie chance coming up. ...172 yards today, this uphill par 3. Lovely tee shot in here from Amy Bolden. Maria Hernandez's closest challenger right now, Florentina Parker.
I think this one's heading right. Not the end of the world down there. And Albane Valenzuela, 1 over par for her round today.
But she's going to not forget this week in a hurry, is she?
Good shot. Right on cue for a top 10 finish. First pro event, age 16. Not bad at all.
Well, the penultimate group on the 16th, the final group coming down 15th. Everything still very much in the balance. One shot advantage for Maria Hernandez over Florentina Parker. Isabel Bueno, the French rookie, just walked off 16 with a par. Bolden missing out on that birdie at 15. Both 2 shots back. And then the defending champion, the world number 15, 3 adrift of her compatriot. Gives you an idea where the ladies' golf is going at the moment. And Florentina Parker at 25's a right old veteran in this group, isn't she?
Yeah, she's the old girl. Lots of young talent coming through.
Oh, this is back at 15.
Arthur avoiding the bunker, but not the prettiest of lies, just making sure the crowd is tucked in nicely so she doesn't take anyone's head off.
I think our cameraman maybe is part of those that's needing to move. You get the feeling there'll be 1 or 2 players who'll, obviously as they do every week, be pretty frustrated with the way things have gone, because at the Munoz, for example, you know, very avoidable double bogey at the third, some mistakes in there that you wouldn't expect from her. She's still in with a chance, but she'll feel she should be a lot closer.
Yeah, you just can't afford to make double bogeys if you're going to win a golf tournament.
This looked a good strike. That's okay. Opens up the green nicely. Well, she's made some really good up and downs, hasn't she, on this back nine? Kept herself right there. Commentator's curse. Yeah, there we go. Strikes again. What a shame, because I say she'd fought really hard to put this score together. Well, mentioned the chances missed at 15 from Parker, and Bolden making her task easier. Parker with that duff chip. And Hernandez in range to strike at the par 5.
Does she like it? That's okay.
This for a birdie for Valenzuela. Managed a 2 here yesterday. Just remained very calm throughout, hasn't she? What a big drive, eh?
Yeah, that's enormous. As you can see, going at the green with an iron. So that's some 280 yards off the tee. Great opportunity for an eagle 3.
Well, she's back at 6 under now, so you feel even with an eagle, it unlikely to help her cause too much. Penultimate hole for Buono, who really could do with a birdie finish. Unlikely from there.
Yeah, she's got to come up and over that slope from the side of the green there.
Well, we were talking earlier about what score might do it. We were talking about 14 under par. Safe to say that isn't very likely now to be the winning score as it was here in 2013 and 2012. Well, horseshoed out on the last hole. Short with the putt this time from Amy Bolden. We're back with the 3 Amigas. Hernandez, Seganda, Munoz.
So Florentina Parker to stay within 1.
Well, that means the lead is 2 shots again for Maria Hernandez. Kind of huffing and puffing over the line here, aren't they? It's all a bit of a struggle all round.
Yeah, it's tricky getting late in the day.
But incredible, she didn't even have a practice round here this week. She was one of the last, I think she was actually the last player into the tournament, Amy Bolden. She only got an invite on Sunday night. She couldn't get a flight out till Tuesday. She didn't get a chance to have a practice round. Of course, being a rookie, she'd never played Chantaco Golf Club before. So the first look she had was in that round of 69 that she had on day 1. This for a bogey 4. So confirmation, she goes back to -9. Hernandez 2 shots in the lead.
Arthur's 3rd shot here at the 15th. Needs to get this one close.
She has. sure Maria Hernandez watched and learned from that one. She and Maria played together as a team in the European Nations Cup a few years ago. They did pretty well, as you might expect. Both played together in their first major, US Open, back in 2009.
That one running on just a little too much for Maria's liking. Opting to chip this.
Good attempt, because she feels like I was suggesting it really needed to be a birdie finish from Buono. But an eagle opportunity coming up for Carlotta Ciganda. 3 more holes to go after this, and this would take her to within 3 shots of her compatriot's lead. She's already had 2 eagles this week. They were on the 7th holes yesterday and on day 1.
Agonisingly close for Carlotta Ciganda.
Just a birdie. Eyes wide open, and then the realization it wasn't going to drop.
Lots of work going into reading that green. So we join Florentina Parker on the 17th tee.
They were contemplating pushing the tee forward here, because it's so wet. There was no need really. If it was drier, the players could have, from a forward tee, had a go at the green, but as it is, no run of course on the ball. It just meant them knocking 5 irons, 6 irons off the tee. To go 3 shots clear. I thought if she could knock it in, that would be a defining moment.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm quite shocked at how few players in these closing few groups have actually birdied 15. Charlie Hull gets to 6 under par.
Yeah, she's 7th on her own right now, Charlie Hull. Well, another opportunity for Munoz to get closer. Remember, she started the day 4 shots behind. This to get within 2 shots of Maria. She's got it. Well, I wonder what we're going to see over these closing holes. This for par. One bogey too many. Two shots. That's the lead. 3 holes to play. Well, there's no doubt she'd have taken that at the start of the week. She's been there to be shot at, hasn't she? Ever since she hit the front on day one. Disappointment for Buono, obviously.
Yeah, still a great week for her. She hadn't secured her card before this week. But I think following her play...
Well, she hasn't had a top 25, has she? So, I mean, yeah, as you say, a big week.
I think she's earned just over €9,000, so...
Yeah.
Good finish here will definitely help her cause.
Well, there's 3 players tied for second, and this is one of them, Amy Bolden.
Great shot.
I'm sure there's a few people back in Wales watching this one with interest. As there will be in Germany as well, which of course is where the Parker family are based. Dad, a pro, brother Ben also is a player who often competes on the Challenge Tour. Oh, glorious shot from Parker. Spin just taking it a little bit away from the hole. Well, she said a few weeks back her aim was to finish the year in the top 10 of the world rankings. Right now she's at 15, but a win here this week would certainly take her closer to that goal, and that's a decent birdie shout.
Yeah, it'll just be quite a quick putt from there.
Looking very relaxed. Recently got engaged, getting married late next year, Atha.
Good shot also from Siganda. They've got it surrounded.
Well, 11 under par is the score which Maria Hernandez is on as she comes to this hole. Longest of the par threes.
Yeah, uphill as well. So players, as we've seen, some of them actually go in with a wood here at the 16th hole. Long irons for this final group, though.
Well, over the last 3 holes, over the first 3 days, not a single birdie for Maria Hernandez. What she'd give for one today.
It would certainly take the heat off her on the last couple of holes. I'm sure she'd be breathing a little easier. I think it's headed right. Way right.
Well, she's holding on, but you feel like that grip is loosening for Hernandez right now. Still a cushion for her at the top. Not as comfortable as it was overnight. Just the one birdie for her today. Couple of bogeys on the back 9. It's been far from straightforward. But when you're chasing your first top 30 of the year, your first win in 4, it was never going to be easy for Maria Hernandez. Missing the green at 16, 2 shots her advantage. Amy Bolden, Florentina Parker, Atha Munoz. They're the players now, still with hope of winning this Lacoste Ladies Open de France. .66, best of the day from Gladys Nacera. Strong finish from France's number 2 player. .68 from Jade Schaefer. Jorgensen was threatening, wasn't she, at various points this week? Back to level par now, though, for the Dane, who's had a couple of runner-up finishes this season. Linnea Blomqvist's struggles continue. Another who could have really done with a big finish here this week. Well, an awkward little chip shot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not really sitting very nicely either. Really going to test her.
Played it superbly. Can Amy Bolden find it when she needs it? What a putt! What a moment that could prove to be for Amy Bolden. She's given herself a real chance. She's second on her own. One shot behind the leader. Of course, she has won this season, hasn't she? She won on the Lacoste Tour, the development tour, on the Ladies European Tour, the Axis Series. She won in Switzerland, won in a big playoff. I think it was 6 holes, didn't it?
Yeah, against Kelly Tidy, my old roommate.
Sally Watson, I think, was involved as well, wasn't she, in that?
Was.
What a big birdie putt that was for Amy Bolden. So things getting tighter all the time. What was interesting from that Bolden putt was the pace in which it dropped into the hole.
Oh, didn't need a lot more on that one.
She can't join Amy Bolden at the bottom of the hole for a birdie 3 here at 17. She stays 9 under. Closing hole for Isabel Bueno. Made a terrific birdie here yesterday, didn't she?
Another good shot. I think upon reflection, Isabel will be very happy with her play this week. We saw she struggled on the greens a little yesterday, but all in all, very nicely played.
Well, she's not guaranteed a par, Maria Hernandez here, although you'd wager that she would walk off with a 3. Downhill birdie putt for Atha Munoz. She's not normally been shy on many of these downhillers. But there you go. Never really looked like getting to the hole, did it?
There's work left in that one as well. These players are definitely making it hard for themselves.
Yeah, and a group ahead of them, Amy Bolden. She's been the one making more birdies than anyone, hasn't she?
See what Charlie Hull can produce on this last hole. Currently in 7th place on her own.
The ball of Maria Hernandez. Her lead, just a single shot now, and she has to pop this one in to keep it that way.
A very big putt for our leader.
Would be a great up and down if she could make it. Amy Bolden and Maria Hernandez are tied at the top, leading by 4 at the start of the day. This is the first time she has been caught. Well, that drop shot gives Florentina Parker as well some hope now as well. Of course, Hernandez back to 10 under along with Bolden. Parker at 9 under par. Munoz also at 9 under. And this for her to stay on that mark. Well, it's game on, isn't it, at the Lacoste Ladies Open de France? 4 potential winners now. The defending champion is certainly one of those in with a sniff here. Maria Hernandez, with 3 bogeys on the back 9, has seen her lead evaporate. Amy Bolden safely down the fairway at 18, alongside Maria Hernandez at 10 under par. Florentina Parker there on the left-hand side, along with Munoz at 9 under. But it's the 20-year-old from Conwy in Wells who's emerged as the birdie machine on this final day. And those birdies have put her there right at the top. 6 so far, to go with the 7 she managed yesterday. And poor old Maria Hernandez, they chipped away at that lead all day long. Finally, someone's caught her.
Two over par for her round today. Certainly not what she wanted going out there with that 4-shot lead.
But just your thoughts, Amelia, as we look at this hole. I mean, you know Amy pretty well. I mean, she's worked all season, hasn't she, to get herself into this position. She's done it a couple of times where, you know, going into the back 9, she was there and then not seen it through. Now she's actually the one that's charging through. She's the finishing strongest right now.
Yeah, she's almost playing the 9s in reverse, and how she has been in previous tournaments. She's been charging on the front 9, falling away on the back. Other way round today, she had a double bogey at the 3rd and hasn't looked back since then. No blemishes on the card, 6 birdies, and perhaps drawing on her experiences of disappointment the last few tournaments when she's got herself in contention, and now she's in a fantastic position.
I mean, she was 4 under par when she double bogeyed that hole. She was 8 shots off the lead. I mean, to think that she'd be coming down 18 tied for the lead seemed absurd, didn't it?
Absolutely. I don't think Amy would have probably believed you had you said that this would be the case. But she's now in a great position, middle of the 18th fairway. Won't have far into that green either. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see her knock it in close and perhaps even another birdie on 18 and sit in the clubhouse and see what Maria Hernandez can come up with.
Well, this young lady here has birdied this hole the last couple of days. Arthur Munoz is certainly very much a danger woman as well. Perfect drive.
Big sloping putt here for Isabel Bueno. Oh, she gave it a go.
Just an iron required off the tee for Carlota Ciganda. 17th hole, it's 269 to reach the water, so no need for her to float with that at all.
Yeah, this hole plays a little over 20 yards downhill as well, so players just need to make a sensible decision off the tee.
Sorry, Charlie. This is for the other Charlie. Charlie Hull for 2 birdies in a row.
Oh my goodness me.
I think that's a 450, isn't it? Not a 360. That's kind of been like a week, really, nearly. Another top 10, though, for Charlie Hull. Well, this one, yeah, it's okay. I thought it was leaking a little right, but it's okay. Now, come on, Isabel. Needs to finish at 8 under par. Well done. What an excellent week it's been. Her best finish on the Ladies European Tour by some distance, and in her first French Open. All week long she's been the leading French player here this week, hasn't she? And a round of 68. 4 rounds in the 60s for Bueno. Really well played.
Yeah, and that should be a top 5 finish there for Isabel. Fantastic playing this week.
Parker, perfect drive. A birdie for her, and her hopes very much alive. 5 iron from the English player. It's a cracker.
What a shot from Florentina Parker.
Well, she hasn't really joined the party as far as contending is concerned. But that doesn't mean we should take anything away from Albin Valenzuela. It does it. 5 under now.
Another great shot from the young amateur.
Well, Amy here, not quite on the fairway, is she? And the ball below her feet, she could have done with something prettier than this.
Yeah, she could do it. A little challenging for Amy. Let's see what she can do.
Well, maybe a time to produce the shot of her life. But it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a great result from that lie.
Well, she finished 4th in Germany. She challenged in the Czech Republic. She won on the Access Series in Switzerland. She's been working very hard with her coach, her mentor, Robert Rock. Helped her with her game massively. He's a very hands-on coach. They speak every day. And I'm sure Robert Rock will be kept up to date with everything that's going on here as well. She actually met him through her sister who'd been working in Abu Dhabi, got her to play in some English tour events. Ten under par, Amy Bolden. 10 under par, Maria Hernandez.
Maria obviously will now know that Amy Bolden's caught her, more than likely has been told by somebody. Let's see how she responds.
Pretty good from Maria Hernandez. She needs somehow to hit the birdie trail. Just one birdie today. That came at the 4th hole. And you have to say, Arthur Munoz, she hasn't had an A game with her today, has she? But there she is, 1 shot off the lead, 2 holes to play.
Yeah, a testament to how good she is and how well she's been playing this season. She's still in this and putting up a great defence of her title.
It's a chance. Half-decent chance at best, though, for Arthur Munoz.
Carlotta not impressed with this one. Looking a little dejected now. Now, can Amy Bolden knock this in?
Yeah, one of those where obviously you know you've got a chance of winning, you want to make sure you give it a go, but then you don't want to leave yourself a 6-footer coming back either.
No, she needs to secure this 2-putt.
Look at it go, look at it go. I
Oh, it
feared
needs
that
to
might be
sit.
the case. A little bit of a rush to the blood from Amy Bolden, I suppose, given the circumstances, maybe a little bit understandable. It's tense, it's tight at Golf Chantaco here in the southwest of France. No pressure on this young lady, no money to be earned, nothing but plaudits to receive.
And she'll certainly be getting plenty of those. She's played so beautifully all week.
Well, shouldn't leave Florentina Parker out of the equation here either now, should we really? Because she's got a good birdie chance coming up. This putt could be for a part of a playoff, could be for the win, who knows? Just stuck around, hasn't she, Parker? Thought when she dropped that shot at 16 that would be one bogey that she's had today that would cost her, but this to get to 10 under par, this to get into a share of the lead.
She just didn't hit it.
Pity. Well, she started the week 19th on the Order Merit, of course. That will improve her standings, but 9 under, you feel, is not going to be enough as far as winning a second time this season. Conscious of being in Amy Bolden's line. Well, Bolden and Parker can't do any better than the scores they're on there right now.
Frustrating day for Carlotta. It's written all over her face.
But what a huge putt for Amy Bolden. Brilliant. What a fantastic round of golf. And maybe some more action required yet from the 20-year-old from Wales. That is the clubhouse lead. That is a superb 66 to go with the one she managed yesterday. What a weekend for Amy Bolden. It might yet get even better. 10 under par. That is the mark.
Quite incredible play from Amy today, especially after that start with a double bogey at the third.
But to be 66-66 over the weekend.
That is seriously impressive. I mean, she's proven a handful of times this year already that she's got what it takes to win, and now she's posted a score. She can sit in the clubhouse and wait and see what happens. But
well, 66 was the best score yesterday. Of course, Maria Hernandez had one of those as well. 66 is the best score today as well. Amy Bolden's done that both days.
yeah,
That's mighty. When you're contending, that's mightily impressive. But still, Maria Hernandez has a putt to gain the outright lead again. This for birdie at 17.
very, very fast.
She's a little baffled. She put it on the line she wanted. Well, I wonder if Atha Munoz has got something up her sleeve at this hole. So apart, a birdie at the last. Well, that could well win it for Maria Hernandez. Now, come on, Albay. Oh, what a shame. Her week didn't deserve to end like that, did it really? With a 3-putt, because she has been terrific at all departments of her game. She produced the round of the week, a 64 on Friday. And in her first professional event, she's made a mark.
Absolutely. She knocked this in for a top 10 finish. What an incredible week she's had.
Worst round of the week, though, that's 73. She'll be a little disappointed, but I think she can look back with great pride. This to try and make it 3 players at 10 under par. Hello, Atha Munoz, the defending champion, in a share of first place.
Things are getting exciting now.
Well, it's the first time this week she's hit the top of the leaderboard as she's waited to the 71st hole. That's timing.
It's timing and patience. You have to remain patient in this game, something that Atha knows very well indeed.
Oh, what a finish we're having here. I'm sure you're enjoying it wherever you're watching. Well, it's simple. Maria Hernandez, Atha Munoz, a birdie at the last from either of them would win it. Amy Bolden, as you can see, probably having a look at the leaderboard. She just has to sit and wait. Florentina Parker finishes off. She came pretty close, around a 68 today from Flory. But the centre of attention here, of course, is Amy Bolden. What's sure, isn't it? We know this for sure. She's leading the race now as the Rookie of the Year. However, can she now top it off with her first Ladies European Tour win?
Yeah, that would be super sweet for Amy. She'll just have about 10 to 15 minutes left to find out what's going to go on here as the final group make their way to this 18th tee box. Let's have a look at what these players face.
Well, let's remember Atha Munoz birdied last on the 72nd hole last year to win it at 14 under par. She's birdied this hole twice this week already.
Who knows what's going to happen today?
I'm teasing you, that's all, Charlie.
I know you are, but I'm trying not to get too excited just yet.
Well, what she'd give for a repeat of last year. Driver for Arthur Munoz at 18 in a share of the lead. Cracking drive. Really was a terrific looking swing. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. And whereas she's birdied that last couple of days, Maria Hernandez has played it in 1 over par this week, this 18th hole.
Important job now for Amy Bolden.
Especially after what happened to Holly Clyburn earlier this week.
Yeah, less said about that, the better, I think. That was a bit of good fortune there, hopping out of the bunker. All eyes on Maria Hernandez.
Well, she's known as a prodigious practicer. Her coach at university had to drag her off the driving range at times. She's had this injury where she should be hitting less balls, but she told me the other day that she still hits more than she should. All those hours that she's put in are for moments like this. These moments haven't come round for her too often of late.
This one's headed down the fairway. She'll have quite a long way back from there, though.
Well, it bubbled under for a while, didn't it, this final round? It's reaching boiling point right now. What a finish in store at the Lacoste Ladies Open de France. It's between three. Arthur Munoz, the world number 15, her compatriot and the leader for the first 3 days, Maria Hernandez, and the Welsh rookie who's posted 66-66 this weekend and has set the target at 10 under par. Well, 68 from Charlie Hull. She's sitting there in the top 10, as is Gladys Nacera, both those players in that top 5 of the order of merit. Isabel Bueno, her best week on the LET, and Albain Valenzuela, another of the players who has performed with great esteem over the 4 days at Golf Chantaco. 3 French players in the end inside the top 10. Schaefer just outside that with a 68. Disappointing 75 in the end from Marlene Jorgensen. Top 20 from Liz Young. Felicity Johnson, another like Munoz and Hernandez and Saganda have spent a lot of time out in America this season. Maya Adoui, pretty good week for her, top 25. Nikki Campbell, 69, getting married at the start of November. We wish her luck in that. Well, we saw an early birdie from Christina Voth, but unfortunately that's as good as it got for her. 78, saw a slide down. 67 for Sally Watson, who we've been mentioning in the Rookie of the Year of the race, her best of the week. Diana Luna just not getting it going. But at 3 months pregnant, great to see her out there playing on the LET. It's all down to this. If we see a Spanish birdie, it could be over. But which Spaniard?
I'm going to remain impartial on this one.
Angel and Maria trying to work it out. There's one very interesting spectator.
Yeah, tense moments for Amy Bolden.
She can hear us as well.
I think she can.
Give us a wave, Amy. There we go. Well, she can be very proud whatever happens from here on in. Amy Bolden, of course. But just to remind you, birdie from either Hernandez or the defending champion Atha Munoz would ruin her chances of a first LET title.
Caddy trying to keep Maria focused here. Aiming just right of this flag. It's a good shot.
Yeah, similar kind of putt to the one Amy Bolden faced earlier, but well, the stage is set, you feel. Well, I certainly do, for a world-class player in Atha Munoz. 15 in place, as it has been all week long because of the wet conditions. A brilliant birdie from her at 17 has given her the platform to strike and get her hands back on that trophy.
Aiming straight at this flag. Asking for it to go. I think she caught that one a little heavy.
It's given herself the chance, that left potentially, to win again the French Open. Looking to win the titles back-to-back. The first player to do that since Veronica Sorti back in 2004, 2005. It's a chance, a good chance, you have to say, for Atha. She is one of the best putters this year.
Absolutely, yeah. She's top 10 on the LPGA money list. She says that's down to her putting. Are we going to see an exquisite display? Standing with Hannah Burke there and her father Tom.
Well, just to remind you, 3 players at 10 under par. Can anyone at this 72nd hole break out of the pack? Well, there have been really good crowds all week, and they have been treated to some fabulous weather and some terrific golf.
So Siganda finding that back bunker, so she'll be the first to play. Not lying too bad.
Well, we saw a chip in here on day one for a 66 Carlotta Saganda. I have to say her form this weekend's been indifferent. 70 yesterday, she's level par today. It was an awkward shot, wasn't it? Quite close to that back lip.
Yeah, very difficult to stop it from the downslope. But she's left herself the uphill putt for a par.
Well, at least she hasn't ruined those fingernails by biting them. Oh, what a tough day it's been for Maria Hernandez. The way she's fought back from injury, you know she's a tough cookie. It's one of those putts, isn't it, where it's hard to get it to stop short of the hole, so it's going to have a run at the hole. What, move right to left?
Yeah, we'll move right to left. I mean, in her position is very difficult because, as you say, she wants to give herself a chance at the birdie and to try and win this thing outright, but she certainly doesn't want to be knocking it past and potentially missing out on a playoff.
Well, the way Amy Bolden did, that was a great putt back from her.
Fantastic putt. She scared me when she did that.
You were looking through your fingers,
I
weren't
was
you?
looking through my fingers. I couldn't watch.
Well, I suppose in her mind she's got to believe that Arthur Munoz is going to make hers.
I think so, yeah. I mean, if you look at it from a match play point of view, I think Maria will almost be stood over this one saying this putt's for a half. But doesn't need to do anything silly and wrap this one past just in case Arthur does miss. This is a good 1.5 foot outside the right edge.
13 holes without a birdie. What a time it would be to find another. Not got it high enough.
And that one never really had a chance, and that's a tough putt. She's left herself a par as well.
Well, it's quite simple. She'll have a putt coming up to win. Amy Bolden knows that Maria Hernandez can't top her 10 under par score. Carlotta Saganda, of course, still to finish off this for par for a round of 70.
Just a little too hard on that line.
Well, one would assume Carlotta will finish this off and leave the stage clear for Arthur Munoz.
Carlotta's just had a really tough day today, never really got anything going. And especially on that back nine, you could see the frustration written all over her face.
Yeah, 71 in the end for Carlotta Saganda, but it's her compatriot and her Solheim Cup teammate from a year ago in Colorado who has the opportunity. Can history repeat itself here at Golf Chantaco? Can she find another birdie on 18 to wrap up the French Open?
Taking her time over this read of this putt with her caddy, Johnny Scott.
Well, she's been in a playoff this year. Arthur lost to Paula Creamer at the HSBC Champions in Singapore. What a putt Paula Creamer hold to beat her there. Well, she's got a chance to make a putt for herself here. This to win the Lacoste Ladies Open de France. It's there. Back-to-back victories at the French Open for Atha Munoz. Amy Bolden, well, she can be very proud of what she's done. But she's world-class, Atha Munoz, and she showed it with that birdie finish. It's the first time this week she has led on her own, and she does it at the very 72nd hole of the tournament. Incredible. Feel for Bolden, you've got to feel for Hernandez as well.
Absolutely. I was just looking at her there thinking, I think she might have tears in her eyes. Very, very difficult for Maria. But what an incredible finish from Atha Munoz.
But that's what world-class players do, don't they?
Absolutely. She epitomised patience this week.
What was it, about 4 holes ago, saying she hasn't brought her A game here, has she, today?
Yep.
She's won.
At the time, I think she was 9 under par. And that birdie finish. Moments for Atha to enjoy.
But as I say, Maria Hernandez trailing for the first time since day one. And there's not a next hole. It can be cruel, can't it? But I think she'll come to rue this back nine. 3 bogeys, no birdies. There'll be a feeling, won't there, for Maria here that she let it slip, really. A consoling little hug there from Cani Angel. Kisses all round, but it's Atha Munoz here who has finished this tournament off in some style. The 26-year-old from Malaga with her first victory of 2014.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not forgetting the watch this year.
Obviously a mistake she made when getting the trophy a year ago. Carlotta's family are here, as are Maria's, and I'm sure they could all do with a hug or two, but, well, it's just victory smiles, isn't it, in this camp? Johnny Scott, Atha's caddy, enjoying the celebrations.
Thank you.
Well, a week ago, she watched Sergio and co wrap up the Ryder Cup. This time, it was her turn for glory.
Yeah, she was saying just before the tournament that she perhaps didn't practice as much as she normally would have because she was glued to the TV, but incredible scenes here as she held that putt on 18 to take back-to-back French Open titles.
As you said, she still has the task here of making her way through the crowds and going through to sign her card. And if you're Amy Bolden right now, you can feel nothing but proud. And listen, I've just been beaten by someone who's just finished birdie. But if you're in Maria Hernandez's shoes right now, you feel like I've let this one go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Maria's shot 2 over par today. One of the highest scores in the top 10 actually today, and she's going to feel like she let that one go.
She played so well over the first 3 days as well. She was head and shoulders really above the rest of the field, but today, just when it came to that crux, it just slipped through her fingers, didn't it?
Perhaps just showing the lack of inexperience over the last few years.
Well, what a finish. Birdie finish. You have to remember 3 birdies in the last 4 holes from Atha Munoz for that 67. Really was a remarkable end to this Lacoste Ladies Open de France. Her victory, 1 shot in the end over Amy Bolden and Maria Hernandez. Florentina Parker around a 68. Isabel Bueno also in with a 68. Charlie Hull matching that score. Nacera matching the score of the days to get herself inside the top 10. Well, we're going to hear from the champion very shortly, but let's hear from the young lady who came mighty close, Amy Bolden.
Well, Amy, a final round of 66. You couldn't have come much closer.
Yeah, I mean, I got off to a bit of a rough start with a double bogey in the third, but made my way back up and made quite a few birdies coming in.
There were 3 birdies in a row. That really got the momentum back.
Yeah, definitely, with it being 11 and 12 as well, 2 of the toughest holes. And then I hit a bad tee shot off 12 and managed to scramble a par out of that as well.
You're watching on the TV at the end there. What were your thoughts? I mean, obviously you want someone to do well, but at the same time you must have thought, well, have I done enough to make a playoff?
Yeah, I mean, I gave it my best shot in them last few holes, and as I just made 2 great birdies in the last 2 holes, so fair play, well deserved.
Your form this year has been sensational, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've had a great year, so just a few events left just to push on and see what happens.
And what about your caddy this week? Ian Wright, former caddy for Seve.
Yeah, Ian was on my back this week, and he did a great job. I mean, he had plenty of experience, and that really helped coming down the stretch.
So the rest of the season's aims, I hope, obviously, to get you hope to get a victory, but also to win that Rookie of the Year race.
Yeah, definitely, that's in the back of my mind. But all I can do is just play good golf and see where it leaves me.
Well played.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, she is leading that Rookie of the Year race now, ahead of Sally Watson, with another top 10 finish here. Mighty close, of course, to getting into that playoff, but of course had other ideas. Well, every chance that Atha will get closer to that top 10 in the world that she's hoping to get by the end of the year. Of course, she's got some big events to come on the LPGA Tour in Asia now. And a lot of money to be won. They've got that race to the CME Globe, whereas a few additional dollars up for grabs. Signing some shirts.
Yeah, shirts and posters to sign, I think.
Veronica Zorzi, along with Lynette Brookie of New Zealand, the only players that have won this event back-to-back before. Brookie did it at the start of the century, 2001-2. But let's show you some of the highlights of the day. Atha Munoz parred the first. This was her first birdie today at the second.
Yeah, perfectly read.
But when she double bogeyed that par 3 third hole, you thought it's going to be tough for her to get back into it.
Yeah, knocked that long putt in there for birdie at 9.
Yeah, she'd already birdied 7. She dropped a shot at 10. But this was the up and down for what turned out to be a 3 birdie finish in the last 4 holes.
Yeah, quite a phenomenal finish. Seriously impressive play from Atha.
Yeah, she had a chance for birdie at 16 as well. This was her tee shot at the par 3. Although it's fair to say her birdie putt never really threatened the hole. She did well, in fact, to make a par putt. But this was the moment where you thought, hello. Birdie at 17, matching what Amy Bolden had managed on the green around 10-15 minutes earlier. And then, well, she's done it again, as she did last year, on the green in 2. Left herself a birdie putt to win the Lacoste Ladies Open de France for the 2nd year in a row. And just like champions do, she timed her run to perfection. Her good friend Carlotta Saganda, the first to give her the victory hug. Confirmation that Atha Munoz has won here in Saint-Jean-de-Luz in the southwest corner of France. We're very close to the Spanish border. We had 3 Spanish players in the final group, but in the end it was the world number 15 who sealed the deal with a grandstand finish. It's been some year, hasn't it, for Atha Munoz? 8 top 10s in America, winner of the international crown with Spain, got engaged, and now a win.
Bueno, enhorabuena, congratulations et bravo encore 2 fois championne de la Lacoste Open de France. Je suis ravie de nouveau de t'avoir parmi nous et de t'avoir comme gagnante également.
Félicitations pour cette 2e victoire consécutive. J'ai le grand plaisir de vous remettre ce trophée du Lacoste Ladies Open de France. Bravo.
Jean-Louis Charon, the president of the French Golf Federation, and there is Berta de Pablos Barbier, the group marketing and branding executive vice president of Lacoste, to hand over the trophy once again to Atha Munoz. Well, that's music to our ears, isn't it?
Well, Azza, what a finish. 2 birdies at the last 2 holes and your 2nd title in 2 years here.
Yeah, I just love this place, you know. I've been playing really well all week, but putts weren't dropping, and, you know, when I came to the last 2, I knew I needed at least 1 birdie to make, you know, to go to the playoff. And, you know, when I dropped that one on 17, I thought I had a really good chance. And, you know, on 18-2, I just focused on hitting a good putt. And, you know, putts haven't dropped all week, so I guess it was my time, and I'm just really happy.
After that double at 3, you must have thought your chances had gone.
Not gone, I guess, because, you know, there's a lot of golf left, and I know I could make a lot of birdies, and people could make mistakes too, but definitely it was a pretty big setback after birdie number 2, you know. But, you know, the good thing is that I kept calm out there, and, you know, I never lost confidence in myself, and I just kept plugging along.
Obviously, you were playing alongside your closest rival out there for a long time, Maria. A bit of psychological warfare going on as well, making the birdies, putting the pressure on.
I was trying, you know. It's always nice to have next to you whoever is playing, you know, whoever is leading, so you know what they're doing, and, you know, to make a couple bogeys coming in. And, you know, I make actually on 11, 12, 13, and 14 pretty good par putts, so that kept me going, and then finished with 3 birdies on the last 4, and, you know, that was really nice.
It's really been a really good year for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been amazing. You know, I started to play really well from the beginning, and you know, I'm really thankful, and, you know, hopefully I have 7 tournaments left, so hopefully this gives me a lot of confidence to keep it going.
Well done, Azza.
Thank you.
Well, not surprisingly, she's pretty pleased with what she's achieved out there on the golf course today. Didn't look likely for a long time, you have to say. And another young lady who we're pretty pleased with what she's done is Amy Bolden. Part of the first. Yesterday she came out flying from the traps, birdied 5 of the first 7 holes. Didn't make that birdie at the second. Like Atha, she double bogeyed the 3rd, but birdies at 5, 6, 7, and then here at 11, and suddenly she was pushing closer to the top, wasn't she, Charlie?
Yeah, that putt at 11 was huge for Amy. One of the toughest holes on the course this week. And this shot at 12 just kept getting better and better.
I know you know Amy very well. You've known her since, I mean, she's a young girl now, she's 20, but you've known her since she was an even younger girl. How impressed are you with the way she has stepped onto the Ladies European Tour and just been so at ease?
Very impressed. You know, she's always been a very calm character anyway, always kept her composure on the golf course, but she's really progressed in the last couple of years, and it's been lovely to see. The short game is just delightful.
We've seen some terrific players, haven't we, emerge from that Curtis Cup winning team. Obviously, what Charlie Hole's achieved, Stephanie Meadow obviously has burst on, Holly Clyburn has done well. Obviously, there's Amy. There may be 1 or 2 others yet to shine as well, but Amy Bolden here this year is kind of doing what Charlie Hole did last year in some respect, isn't she?
Yeah, she's really starting to prove herself, and not only that, prove that she can contend for these titles week in, week out.
The next step, obviously, is to get one.
I don't think it'll be long at all. You know, we've seen some fine form from Amy in Tenerife and in Prague this year, so...
Not her name on the trophy, and obviously for a long time it looked like Maria Hernandez's name would be etched in there. 4 shots her lead at the start of the day. Pretty nervous looking opening tee shot, went left, but got a nice kick off the back.
The swing perhaps getting a little quick there at the first.
But she made par, and she played the first 8 holes in 1 under with a birdie at the par 5 4th hole. No drop shots on the front 9, but she dropped 1 at 10. Good pass save to keep going at 11, but at this stage she's still 3 shots clear. She still looks, well, I wouldn't say not vulnerable, but she still looks like the likely winner.
Yeah, I mean, the nerves didn't appear to be getting to her, but
It was around this stage, wasn't it?
it was, yeah, we
This
started
green.
getting into the closing holes.
She 3-putted this green. That was when you thought, yeah, that's a real sign of nerves.
Yeah, 3-putted there, failed to make birdie at the short par 5 15th,
And then yeah.
bogey here at 16 too.
And that gave the likes of Atha Munoz real hope. And she still had this putt at the time to take the outright lead at 11 under.
I just didn't quite get the read right on this one.
I have to say she played really well all week, Maria Hernandez, but that's the phone call. Yeah, I just won.
I think that might be the fiancé.
Well, it's been a glorious day at Golf Chantaco here in the Basque Country at Saint-Jean-de-Luz. And we can't complain, can we, about the action? It was a gentle beginning. Maria Hernandez maintaining her advantage at the top, but they got closer and closer, didn't they? Florentina Parker, she had her chances. Maria Hernandez, well, in the end, she let that grip at the top of the leaderboard go. Amy Bolden coming within a whisker, but in the end, it was Atha Munoz, winner in 2013, who's repeated the trick once again here in the southwest of France. The world number 15 victorious. Congratulations to her from Charlie Douglas and myself, Richard Kaufman. Goodbye for now.